Ever been in that frustrating situation where she suddenly stops replying to your messages and you're left wondering what went wrong? It's a feeling that can throw anyone off balance, especially when things seem to be going well. The temptation to fix the situation immediately can be overwhelming, but here's the thing. Most guys end up sabotaging themselves in moments like this. The key to handling her silence isn't about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it strategically. Before you let frustration or insecurity take over, you need to understand what's really at play here. When a woman ignores you, it's easy to assume the worst. Maybe she's not interested, or maybe you said something wrong. While those possibilities exist, jumping to conclusions only leads to mistakes. Silence can happen for countless reasons, many of which have nothing to do with you. She could be busy, distracted, or even testing you to see how you'll respond. Whatever the case, your reaction in this moment is what matters most. How you handle her silence says everything about your confidence and emotional intelligence. And believe me, women notice this. Most guys make the mistake of overreacting. They send multiple messages, hoping to get a response. They call, leave voicemails, and sometimes even spiral into frustration, lashing out with passive-aggressive comments. These actions, while understandable in the heat of the moment, only serve to push her further away. Why? Because they make you look needy, insecure, and overly invested. It's not that you shouldn't care. It's that you need to show her you can handle yourself, even when things aren't going your way. High-value men don't chase attention or validation. They project calm confidence, even when faced with uncertainty. The problem is, when she ignores you, it can feel personal. Every second of silence can amplify doubts you might already have about yourself or the situation. You start replaying every conversation, analyzing every word, trying to figure out what you did wrong. But overthinking doesn't help. It traps you in a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety. What you need is perspective. Her silence isn't a reflection of your worth, but how you respond to it is a reflection of your character. So, how do you avoid falling into the trap of chasing her or letting her silence control your emotions? It starts with taking a step back. The worst thing you can do is act impulsively. When she stops responding, the most powerful move is to show restraint. Don't send another text. Don't call her. And whatever you do, don't try to guilt her into replying. It's counterintuitive, but the less you do in this moment, the more attractive you'll appear. When you stop chasing her, you shift the dynamic in your favor. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude self-assurance, and nothing demonstrates that more than your ability to remain unbothered when she goes silent. Think about it. If she sees that her lack of response doesn't faze you, she'll start to wonder why. That curiosity alone can be enough to reignite her interest. On the flip side, if you react emotionally, you're giving away your power. You're showing her that she controls the situation, and once that happens, it's incredibly difficult to regain the upper hand. Now, this doesn't mean you play games or act indifferent just for the sake of it. Authentic confidence comes from knowing your value and not letting external factors like her response or lack of one define your self-worth. When a woman sees that you're comfortable with or without her attention, it shifts her perception of you. You stop being another guy vying for her validation and become someone she genuinely respects. That respect is the foundation of attraction, and it only grows when you prove you're not easily shaken. Another crucial aspect of maintaining your composure is resisting the urge to explain yourself or seek clarity. Many men feel the need to confront the situation head on, asking questions like, "Did I do something wrong?" or "Are you mad at me?" While it might feel like you're being open and honest, what you're really doing is putting the spotlight on her. You're making her the decision maker in the situation, and that puts you at a disadvantage. Instead of seeking her approval or explanation, focus on what you bring to the table. During this time, it's essential to keep yourself busy. Silence can feel deafening if you're sitting around waiting for her to text back. So don't. Put your energy into something productive. Hit the gym, work on a project, or spend time with friends. When your life is full and vibrant, you're naturally less affected by moments like these. Plus, when she does eventually reach out, and trust me, most of the time they do, you'll have more to talk about than just her lack of response. You'll come across as someone who's living a dynamic life, with or without her in it. And here's the thing. When she notices that you're not chasing her, it forces her to reassess the situation. She starts wondering why you're not reacting the way most guys would. That intrigue works in your favor because it shifts her focus back to you. The more composed and confident you are, the more she's drawn to your energy. Women are wired to notice strength, not just physical strength, but emotional resilience. When you display that, you stand out from the crowd, and suddenly, her ignoring you becomes her problem, not yours. As you maintain your composure, you'll likely encounter a moment of doubt. You might think, what if she's really not interested? What if I've already lost her? This is where many men falter. They give in to fear and revert to chasing. But here's what you need to understand. If she truly isn't interested, no amount of texting, calling, or effort will change that. What can make a difference, however, is how you handle yourself in this moment. A man who respects his own time and energy will always be more appealing than one who doesn't. The real test is staying consistent in your confidence, even if her silence continues. This doesn't mean you're playing hard to get or trying to manipulate her. It means you're valuing yourself enough to let her make her choice. High-value men don't force connections. They know that genuine interest is mutual and that chasing someone who isn't reciprocating is a waste of energy. This mindset not only protects your self-respect, but also subtly communicates to her that you're a man who won't settle for less than he deserves. And while you're maintaining this mindset, it's critical to avoid falling into the trap of trying to win her back through external validation. Some men attempt to post exaggerated highlights of their lives on social media, hoping she'll notice and regret ignoring them. But here's the truth. Anything that looks forced will come across as just that, forced. True confidence doesn't need to be advertised. When you're genuinely thriving, people can feel it, and that energy is far more powerful than any curated post or status update. Another pitfall to watch out for is comparing yourself to other men she might be talking to. It's easy to spiral into thoughts like, maybe she's interested in someone else, or what does he have that I don't? This comparison game only damages your self-esteem and distracts you from the bigger picture. Your worth isn't tied to her choices. Women are drawn to men who focus on their own growth and goals, not men who obsess over what others are doing. By keeping your attention on yourself, you're not only building a stronger foundation of self-respect, but also becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts interest. In fact, the more you invest in yourself during this period, the better positioned you'll be if and when she comes back around. If you've spent the time improving your confidence, deepening your passions, and expanding your social circle, you'll have transformed into an even more attractive version of yourself. And if she doesn't return, that's fine too, because you'll have leveled up for the next woman who crosses your path. Either way, you're winning. By now, you should understand that her silence is not the end of the world. It's an opportunity. It's a moment to show her and yourself that your value doesn't hinge on someone else's attention. The more you embody this mindset, the more power you take back. When she sees that her lack of response doesn't rattle you, it sends a clear message. You're a man who is secure in himself, not someone who crumbles under uncertainty. This is the kind of energy that commands respect, whether or not she decides to re-engage. However, if she does reach out again, it's important to play it smart. This isn't the time to bring up her silence or question why she ignored you. Doing so only makes you appear like you've been stewing over it the whole time, which undermines the confident image you've worked to project. Instead, treat her return as if it's no big deal. Respond calmly as though nothing happened. This shows that you're emotionally stable and not the type to dwell on small things. It also subtly communicates that you have other options, that you're not waiting around for her to validate you. In some cases, though, her silence might persist. If she continues to ignore you after you've shown restraint and composure, that's your cue to move on. This isn't about giving up. It's about understanding your worth and refusing to invest energy in someone who doesn't see it. Women respect men who respect themselves, and nothing demonstrates self-respect more than knowing when to walk away. Ironically, this very act of moving on often reignites interest. But by the time that happens, you may find that you've outgrown the need for her attention altogether. And here's the ultimate lesson. Women aren't drawn to men who try to force connections. They're drawn to men who live with purpose, confidence, and a sense of direction. When you make your life the priority, not her response, you naturally become the kind of man people gravitate toward. Her attention becomes a bonus, not a necessity. This is the essence of being a high-value man. Your focus is on building a life so fulfilling that no single person's silence can shake your foundation. So the next time a woman ignores you, don't view it as rejection. See it as a test of your character, a challenge to grow stronger, and an opportunity to level up. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you truly control is how you respond. And when you respond with confidence, self-respect, and composure, you set yourself apart from the rest. If you want more insights on mastering confidence in relationships, hit that subscribe button or watch this next video. It'll change the way you approach dating forever.